Let's talk about what happened at the weekend. It is the image that has gone viral, and rightly so, because it's so cool. Luis Suarez sat on the pitch, crying his eyes out, FaceTiming his family.
Yeah, and it tells you a lot. I think it tells you a lot about Luis Suarez's character, and perhaps a side of his character that has been hidden from people for too long, or that people haven't wanted to see for too long. But I think in footballing terms, it tells you, I think, a lot about what this league title means for him, what this season means for him, and just how significant it was that he was forced out of Barcelona and how badly he took that. Now, on one level, you look at this and you think, it does seem quite over the top in a way, because plenty of footballers, it's a difficult industry at times, have been forced out of clubs when they haven't wanted to go. But I think it tells you how much Suarez had sort of bound up in his place at Barcelona, how badly he felt that it was handled, both by his manager, but in particular by the club at the time. How he felt that he was pushed out too early when he could still produce, where he could still give them something. And he'd even said before he left, hadn't he, that he would have played on the bench. He would have been a player that came on and had minutes, but he wanted to have the chance to make that point. And I think this tells you how much that hurt. But what it also does, I think it also tells you something about the fuel that has pushed him this year in La Liga. And he talked about it this weekend, and Simeone talked about it this weekend, that part of what drove him this season was the desire to prove himself, and to use a word that he's used a lot and that Simeone's used as well, to prove that he was vigente. Basically, still worthy, still valid, still able to play at a reasonable level. And here he is, quite probably the player of the season in the Spanish league.
It really is quite something. What I really like about that image, Ali, is the authenticity of it.
Absolutely. And I think what you saw there was raw emotion. What you saw there was a guy that, yes, he used all this motivation. Yes, he used all these things that we talked about. Barcelona pushed me out the back door. And so, guess what? I'm going to use that to fuel me. Yes, we know that and we understand that. But in order to fuel, you have to take it in and kind of bottle up that emotion and make sure that what you're driving forward is, I'm going to perform on the weekend. I'm going to perform because I'm going to score goals because my team is going to win and Atletico Madrid is going to be champions of this league. And while you focus on that, you kind of leave that emotion to the side and you focus on your job at hand. But once you achieve the one thing that you set out to do, now all those emotions that were bottled up, all those things that were fueling you, now they blow up.
Yeah.
Now everything comes out and you can't control it. And what you saw there is a guy that could not control it anymore. He's been controlling it for months. He's been keeping it together. He's been using it for his own team and for himself. And now it just kind of came right in there in front of us. That emotion you love to see because you know he cares. You know he's into it. You know it means something to him. And if you're a Barcelona fan, you would have loved to have seen that emotion from anybody, somebody in your team over the last 3 weeks.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN+.